thank you for joining this session. This session is going to be a presentation of a recent program that we are working together with some of the labs. It is about a European fund called Shemakes, and it is about empowering women and creating opportunities, networks, services, and learning paths. The Shemakes program is a program that lasts 2 years. And in the beginning, in the first round, we have some of the labs creating educational material. But then the second year, there is an open call for labs. So that's very densely. In this session, we will have Marion Real, that is my colleague from Pabla Barcelona, systemic designer, that she will be presenting and facilitating the session.
Okay, Ayala. So yeah, and after we have also Anastasia and all the team around you that maybe after we can make a round after the small presentation that we will have. So yes, I'm going to make a bit of formal presentation, and after opening the discussion, and if we have time, we can go on the Miro and try to bring some together. So yes. So Shemakes started in January this year, and we have this consortium as partners. You can see there is Pabla Barcelona, Pabla Leon, Make, VAG, Matrix, TIG, Redu, Claude, and Olfe and TCBL, who is leading the project. There is different Fab Lab and also other lab that took part in the TCBL project that we will define a bit. The idea is really to create an international network and employee innovation and education to impact women in tech and science. Just a small video that came from the communication.
Marion, you would need to take off your headphones to hear the sound. We cannot hear the sound, so you need to take off the headphones for a second.
Okay, are we doing this? Is it working better or not?
You need to take off the headphones.
Sorry, we will do it after this.
Okay.
Yes, okay. So the goal of Shemakes is to empower future female innovator of the sustainable fashion industry through inspiration, skills, and network. And is situated in a context of in European context where we try to really engage more women in science and innovation, and for that there is different level of engagement, and for now there is a lot of prize of excellence that were created, like for instance the L'Oreal prize for women, etc. There is some work on STEAM education and scientific sector who try to bring really this equality with women, and we need still a lot of work when we talk about innovation and also really the mainstream economy. So how to change this gap that there is still in this economy, the textile economy, and for that, Shemakes is based on the work, the pioneering work that is coming from the Fabric Academy and Textile and Clothing Business Lab. That I will now present a bit. I don't know if someone wants to intervene to complete. It's free. Huh? So, Fabric Academy, I think in the Fab Lab network is well known. There is different courses, more than one 1,000 hours of learning material that you can find online about Industry 4.0, about wearable technology, sustainability. That involve more than 2,000 Fab Labs globally, and for now there is 75 alumni. So yes, with this dynamic to not only empower women, but it came that textile really attract women, and women came into the Fab Lab also via the Fabric Academy courses. So it was very nice to see how the network is growing, and to also sustain the network. I think Shemakes project is really a great opportunity for that. The Textile and Clothing Business Labs, it was a European project that happened a few years ago, and now it's a foundation that has engaged until 64 labs. It's 7 different type of model of labs and 17 projects. And I encourage you to really go on the website if you want more information. There is nice example and also the value of the network. For both TCBL and Fabric Academy. So these two networks merge a bit because from one side there is Fabric Academy, as we see on the over picture, that is really engaged to bridge in terms of education and innovation, really strong and pioneering work on this domain, which is fashion tech, sustainability, entrepreneurship, and Industry 4.0. And the TCBL network is really focused on how to relocalize textile and also give a new dimension, a new future to the textile industry. So this merging of labs and partner are really nice for the Shemakes project. So if we talk concretely of what we are doing in Shemakes, there is 3 different axes. We are creating learning paths. So this one are based on the Fabric Academy curricula, and we address here 3 type of age. So there is the kids from 8 to 18 approximately. There is a specific cursus also inspired, for instance, with the work of Fab Lab Leon and for the Rosas, and over work that is being done in the Fab Lab network. There is the discovery path, which involves more the 18 to 25. It's really to engage also with university or school and create a different program and collaboration to really put the knowledge that is on Fabric Academy inside, and to go a bit further than the classic curricula that there is there. And the last age is after 25th, and the name is innovation. So the idea is really to find a new way to collaborate after classic Fabric Academy. And for now we are doing like a survey with the alumni of Fabric Academy to know which kind of activity we could do with company or other type of to foster entrepreneurship there. Yeah, and it's closely related with the second type of activity that we are doing, which is the innovation services. So here is more based on the TCBL approach, and there is 3 category also of work. We are trying to organize some community activity, trying to engage really all the stakeholders of a local area. We are doing lab-to-lab projects, and I will give an example after. And we try to also foster some business collaboration. And the reputation model is really to try to identify and to work with some role models, women role models that could really inspire the next generation. I think I forgot that we have like some different example and details. So what I was saying here, the learning path, curiosity, discovery, innovation. We have also this leitmotif a bit to see education happening at all ages. So with this quote, that's nice. the innovation services, the idea, as I said, there is community events, network lab project, and TCBL business creation, and we have quite a number to assume. The Rewool project, which is the first lab to lab project that we are creating in the project. The idea is to create a little wool factory and to really try locally new techniques to reinvent and to also understand what we can do to recycle wool, and also to give small farmers you have wool in their farm. Yeah, and this is just the beginning, so for sure you will have more information about it. Yes, I'm going back on the reputation management and the role model. So here is really to give and to transfer the work that has been done from passionate female expert and entrepreneur. So here we have three levels of three types of women. We have the advisor, the guru, and the ambassador. So the advisor are this woman that you can see here. Most of them are really well known. Yamara Balesfini, Rebecca Earley, and all this panel that you will have the opportunity to see some interview online soon with her and the guru. So the guru are the fab and textile lab ambassador experts in the lab. So you can recognize the faces here with Anastasia, Nuria, Beatrice, Christina from Geneva, Andrea, and Sabrina. And the ambassador are still not selected, but there is an ongoing process. The idea is to select 12 ambassadors, and there is 2 by labs. And the objective is that the ambassador, well, the criterion of selection is that they need to participate in the Shemakes activity and to reflect a bit the value of the project, that having really an engagement and exceptional contribution and participation during the Shemakes activity, and to have this philosophy of local, not to act locally and globally, and trying to foster what they have learned in the Shemakes project and to disseminate it in the other places. And the ambassador will go, is the second part of the project, who is starting in September, from September, October to overlaps. And this is something that we really want to talk about today, is that there is opportunity for overlaps to join the project. There is 12 overlaps that will have the chance to benefit from funding and also to take part on the activity of Shemakes. So if you are a lab and you are interested in the Shemakes project, or you just a woman or people inside the lab that are really interested in the project, you can really first we can say that you can already start activity and be referenced as a transfer lab, which is like a node for the Shemakes network. And in the autumn, we will launch a specific call. And this call, it's really have some benefits for the transfer lab. So we have first, it's be recognized as a Shemakes project and to make part of this ecosystem of where women engage in fashion and innovation. If as a transfer lab, you can have the chance to participate in joint activity. For instance, the distributed event that will be made from the lab project. You will receive financial support for holding activity at your lab, and this amount is around 15K. So it's a great amount of money to make activity and to sustain a bit your activity if you are engaged in that. You will have direct mentoring with the Shemakes guru, and what I start mentioning before, you will have the opportunity to host one ambassador for doing workshop based on the learning path that has been developed. So the ambassador will come in your lab, or the format could change if there is some COVID issue. But the idea is to really learn from this ambassador, and this ambassador will be a bit guided also with the guru of their own lab. And of course, the idea is really to test the transferability of the tools and methods developed and tested in the project, and that you can also be creator of new content, and that as we do on the Fab Lab community, that you enrich the content from your own insights. So in terms of timeline, so we are here now at about 16, just introducing the project. We will have this open call. Normally we will launch it from September, and November I think we will have the result of the selected lab, and we will start just after until June to have some exchange of knowledge, ambassador travels, and the opportunity for the lab to run the activities. And of course, there is a bit of documentation that will be happen during the project, and this to see what we have learned from this collaboration. So in terms of eligibility, of course, we still don't have all the criteria because we are doing and preparing the open call. But one thing that is really nice is that most of the labs are welcome, meaning that there is one of the selection criteria is the coverage of the 16 member states of EU, but there is also the opportunity to have associate countries. So it's open to all the countries eligible to the Hatch 2020 program. So this needs to be checked internally, of course, in each of the labs present. And we have pre-identified some idea of lab that you can see on the screen that I won't go in detail, but you can see that there is lab in Latin America, in Bhutan, or of course there will be more in Europe, but some of them can be from associated countries. So it's really nice to fit with the existing network of Fabric Academy and Fab Lab. Yes, I think I'm coming to an end for the presentation. Just if you have any comments, if you want to express your interest in the project, you can write at this email. We have a webpage and a newsletter on shemakes.eu. Stay tuned because soon we will open this call for Ambassador and Transfer Lab. And we have some good accounts in Instagram where, for instance, Anastasia and all the team are bringing a lot of content. So it's nice to go there to check. Any question? Not at this stage. We can make a small round. And if you okay after, we can go on the mirror to talk more maybe about the gender in your lab and all these things that we can do for improving the situation of gender inequality there. Anything to add? Overrise, Nat, or the team?
Yes, just I would like to say that Shemakes comes as a Shemakes comes as a solution, let's say, for us to work together to be able to be supported with this European fund so that we can develop common knowledge, common tools to build and further expand the learning material and also the opportunities and the services that the labs offer as a network. And it's also important because the program runs in 2 phases. We are testing the tools that we are making and all of the preparation of the material in the first phase, and then we are integrating the new 12 labs via an open call in the second phase to further test and further develop. All of these tools and methods and the research projects, the lab-to-lab projects, they are going to be documented in an open source way. And this means that anyone can join the Shemakes network if they resonate with our values, if they want to create enabling environments in their labs, and if they want to also do the learning materials, the learning methodologies that we have created. This means that we are embracing everyone and inviting everyone to follow this material. And we will be only able to help financially 12 labs, but this doesn't mean that only 12 people need to participate in the project. So we will make an evaluation of which are the criteria to do the selection of the transfer labs, but anyone can be an enabling environment and embrace these, let's say, methodologies. And this especially I'm saying because there is a list of eligible countries that they can participate in the project, which means that we can, for example, I think that US is not inside. We cannot help financially US, but of course we are inviting people from the US to join and learn together and collaborate with us in this in this intent to broaden the educational material and create this environment that there is gender equality. So now I can hand out, I think Brazil was, I'm not sure if Brazil was eligible. I need to check that. I need to check it, the list of the eligible countries. So now we can pass to the co-creation activity.
Yes, so I will just put the link on the chat. And I hope the link will work for everyone here. Let's take a moment for that. So you have the link and the password, which is a Shemakes. If there is any problem of connection, please tell us. We can try to fix it before joining. Normally, you're supposed to arrive in this kind of setting in this stream. Yes, so I think we can start. I will just present a bit the activity. There is two different activity. The first one is to ideate a bit about different dimension of gender and get to know a bit your concern and your vision in a way. So we have selected 4 subcategory that where you can put some notes. You see the cycle and you can zoom into each cycle. There is mini cycle and you can write just here. And if you don't have all the possibility, you can also go here and select some post-it notes and to just feed the discussion. So there is so 4 questions. The first is how we can improve inclusivity in labs. So inclusivity meaning in the wider term. So it's not just about gender equality, but really how to be more inclusive. And I think this notion of environment for all. What does it mean, and maybe what are your experience that you would like to improve in your own lab or in your own experience? The second one is about the notion of stereotypes. There is a lot of stereotypes about gender, and I think we experienced that a lot at the beginning of the project when we start also talking about gender with some of our colleagues, and we were a lot. We were already learning about that, and I think maybe it would be nice to make a list of the gender stereotypes that you can think of. There is also a session with all the good practice and Fab Woman initiatives. So I don't know if you were here on the session of the research paper, but we had two paper on that, naming, for instance, the Poderosa, the Fab Woman network that is already existing, but maybe going a bit more precise on that. It could be nice to list some initiatives. And after Anastasia came also with a nice idea to create like a glossary, a new glossary for avoiding that in the jargon of Fab Lab you have just men-oriented words. So maybe we can come with a new idea here and try to think and bring some about new words. Anastasia, we let you maybe give some example if you have when we go there. And in the second part is more focused on the Shemakes. So how you would like, or you would be interested in joining and how you can support, in fact, Shemakes. So if you already know that you are in the lab and you want to apply as a transfer lab, you can put the name of your lab here, for instance. And after we have many, you can see there is some idea of activity or things that you would like to put in place and that you already have done. Maybe we can also learn from your experience here and just brainstorm about ideas. So this exercise, we already did it a bit in the project, and it was really nice to share about that. I hope with you we can also take time to do that. So let's take some free time to do that. If it's okay for you, let's bring some maybe silently for 10, 15 minutes, and after we can join and bring some about that. If you have any question, please, it's an open space now. We can discuss it.
Hi. Hi. Any of you there?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, so Pratnya, this is Nanita from Kochi. Pratnya is actually in the waiting room. Pratnya from Vegan Ashram. So she was just wondering if she, if you guys just her.
I have no one in the waiting room. I don't know about the other.
I
What's
have
your name?
accepted her.
Okay.
So we are putting some ideation here in this board. And if you want, I can also, yeah, perfect. I can also share my screen so that there is something. Give me a second. Mhm. Yeah, we are here in this board. So we are contributing to different levels. For example, sharing initiatives and good practices, stereotypes in the lab. For example, so you can also add, and if you cannot access the board, you can tell us on the chat and we can add it for you. So if you would like, you can also write your the name of your lab here. So that maybe it can become a transfer lab. Also here, when we say share good practices of FAB women initiatives, you can also add if you are doing activities in your lab that are more empowering the gender equality. If you have done things that are coding for girls, for example, or activities for girls, you can also write this as a practice.
Maybe we can start sharing a bit. What do you think? Are you still inspired by writing, or maybe better to start seeing the post-it? Maybe what we can do is like a round of the people who want to talk. It's what we did a bit in the Shemakes project until now. So if someone, each of us can say a bit of what is the main thoughts, and let's see what's emerged from the discussion. Who would like to start?
And also, if you have anything else that you want us to add on the Miro board, we can always add it.
Yeah.
I can add something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I worked in a lab at a high school library. And what I found that it was an open space. There was no separation of the library and the Fab Lab. But at times, I noticed that some of the female students didn't feel as welcome to come in because, let's say, the football team was sitting at the table. One part of me loved the fact that people would come in and just sit and socialize, but I did notice that it excluded maybe females at times.
Yeah, it's true that there is many situations like this now. Already the group in itself is framed by girl or men, and they stay in each other on their habit, no? And it could be okay, and it's true that maybe it came a problem when there is like people who want to do things that feel like comfortable and unable to do that. I don't know if there is over a reaction on that comment.
It's good to think about it because I don't think I thought of it, at the top of my head. So it was nice to have that question brought up.
Their own experience.
I have one more thought just to add. I've noticed at certain spaces, they put up really large photographs of faces of people who use the space. And it's nice to see those faces represented by both male and female. In Newport, Rhode Island, we have the International Yachting School, and you would think it would be mostly men, but there's quite a few women's faces up there. And these are big 6 feet tall images. And I thought that was very powerful.
It's to comment what we
It's
are
good.
inserted in the middle or not?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to say that here in Brazil, we have done some projects with women in vulnerability state. So it's very interesting because we have given workshops to give the tools for these women, and also the material, all included in the project, so they can produce some products from themselves and put to sell. So it's a wholly system, catching these people from the many times from the street, that are people living in the street, and giving them some dignity, to access these classes and also this material to produce some material, and after put this in a little shop that sell for the population. So it's very interesting. This recovered people from drugs and from many problems, and give them again the possibility to have some hope in their lives, or of changing their lives. And it's very, very good. I put many things in the in the mirror because I'm crazy about this thing. So I think this is very important. Of course, the thing of the creating activities from the girls and young women, for them, like the Poderosas and others, to give them this idea that they can do everything if they want, and to stimulate the girls to enter in the science and the technology world. And here in Brazil we have this projects I put here. This is something interesting, creating mechanisms from mothers that have where to leave their children, or have activities together, the mother with the children or the children separated, but where the mothers can leave their children to do the activities. Now this is a problem very, very critical here in Brazil. Many women lost their jobs during the pandemic because they had to stay at home with their children. The schools closed, and especially the women have lost their jobs. And as the projects here, I included this project that is Conexão Musas, with the expedições criativas, that is that journey I said, of empowering, giving them the conditions to do something. There is the Preta Lab, it's for Black people, Black women, to establish the agenda of the lab. So asking for these people from the very poor, more poor people, and Black women, to come and to discuss what will be done in that period in the lab. No, and also we have here. I have submitted the project of Fabricademy to a grant. I don't know if you have, because here I have the note, and I know many women that want to do the project, the course, and have so much potential, but they don't have money. No, for us in dollar, it's so expensive. So I have postulated for a grant to give two grants to two women to make the course. And we have also in Latin America the 3D Fashion Week LAT, no, that empower the young women and designers to enter in this technology fashion world, and also the Fabi Woman Conference that discuss every year in the Fabilat Fest this kind of problems and so on. I think I talked too much. So I would love to be ambassador and a lab and participate with that, because this is the thing we are trying to do here in the Latin network in Brazil and Peru and many places, and fighting every day to sustain our labs and our activities, to especially give this opportunity for women, especially.
You can tell you think a lot about it, Angela.
Perfect.
Yes, I think that it would be great to gather activities that happen in Fab Labs, that they are empowering girls and women. As Angela mentioned, the ones from Latin America. And I am sure that there are many more groups, like the Poderosas of Luria, for example. I think that there are many labs that they have done STEM activities for girls. So it would be nice to find out who would be a nice contributor to the program. Would someone else like to join the discussion?
Sorry, hi, I'm Dai. I'm from Fab Lab Saigon. It's from Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. And well, I just want to share one of the stories, the one that's our founder. We have two women, and then a lot of several of 3 or 4 of the makers male, as we are quite very balanced in the number of the people who participate at that time. And when we organize with several hackathons or mobile fab lab to attract for a student or people to join, we always try to give us several brew that we must to increase of the female maker who participate in the ideal. And when I realized that most of the, most of the male or engineer who has a background, they just thought that the coding and mathematician is for boy. And in that team, most of the girl will do for something related to sewing, decorated design and presentation for the boy. because the boy think that they are very good at presentation and a lady can speak very well and something, and we think it's quite very quite it's still not have not engaged enough for the to balance about the career and the way of people choice when become the education, especially for in the rural area when we create from the mobile Fab Lab program. But in the city, it's maybe better because the more of when we recruit from our volunteer, I don't know, but 80% of applications is from the girl who apply for our lab at that time. And wow, with the two boys try to apply for it later, and the women, it seemed that the girl stay were longer, more than stay with us around 4 or 6 months, nearly up to 1 year. They contribute and to become our volunteer, even from to learn from a 3D printing skill technique, to learn from exploring, and even to do some social media. They are very multitasking, and I think it's very great. But sometimes another thing is that when we buy from the new sewing machine, several of the boys in the lab also love to exploring, try to playing with the sewing machine and sewing and learning. And so I think that now it blended with the gender. As last time when we create several events, and the boy would try they making some of the conception to create for the I don't know, but how to there's one project to foldable of the bed, some kind eco bed, and for design of it. And that's how we switch it to the way of the boy now to do several design and sewing something. And I think it's very interesting when activity I observe from the lab in the Fab Lab Saigon. But now I understand with the Angela, because we several of our projects due to the COVID time, and sometimes we have to struggle for the fundraising to do for more exploring to engage for more people at that time. So it's very nice for you because it's 1:30 a.m. in my country now.
Yes, I was going to ask you. Thank you so much for joining us. That is so late on in your country. Thank you so much. And I really like your observation about the difference between the city and the village. And I really like also the observation about the after COVID, the impact that it is a lot bigger, no? So.
But it's really one of the best thing I believe that the experience that we are a community in the Fab Lab, in the network, and I hope that in the future we could try to strengthen the collaboration, and to support together.
Exactly. Would someone else like to add their personal experience within the Fab Lab network about stereotypes, or share initiatives, or talk about projects that they have done that are empowering girls or women?
Hi, it's Valentine from Green Fabric in Brussels. And so I just launched a Textile Live 1 year ago. And so we also have like classic sewing and weaving lessons. And so it's, we can see that everybody sees us as a hobby place and not as a professional place. And so I think it's because it's all like, it's not a classic Fab Lab, but it's only a textile Fab Lab. And so and we are only women, and we see that we are not really like considering as an expert, but as a hobby place. and not really a professional place. So it's hard to be considered as a professional in the network, as it's only like girl stuff that we are doing. So we are launching in September. We are gonna make like free workshops, and we are gonna try to work with the ULB Fab Labs, so with students and also with association to get like another people participate to the activities, and not only women and hobby, but like everybody's to participate in the activities. And with the Fab Lab ULB, we ask to get like some funds to do the same, but with students. So with child between 8 and 18. And so we would like to do the same, like working with schools and working with association, but for the young people, in order to promote like the STEM and the textile workshop. That's my experience.
But do you ever have men participants? Never.
For the moment, never. But I hope that with the activities that we are going to do in the ULB Fab Labs and with the association, we are going to have many participants. But for the moment, it's like a safe women's space, so it's kind of nice too. But it's like we see that the men are not coming because it's not like expert enough, or I don't know, for the moment.
You know, what I've noticed with some friends of mine, the boys, they really like this hand sewing machine, like it's like a gun, and that you press the button. Yeah, not the tufting, like a normal sewing, but it's like you do like this with the hand. So it is kind of like, instead of having it a sewing machine on the desk, you can carry it with you and go anywhere you want and sew. And the guys, the men, they really like this tool because it takes them like a little bit far from the stereotype that they will sit in front of the sewing machine and sew. And it also looks like a gun. So I think that it is also somehow the stereotype, the image that we have from all the textile industry. And I think that maybe with technology, we can like start to try to use a different language so that we can decontextualize it from what it is and start like having it, to promote it as something that is very techy, something somehow that it will not always follow under the same stereotype. I think that maybe this could help. Mm-hmm.
I noticed one time in the high school Fab Lab, one of the male students was using the sewing machine, and he was teaching his friends. And I asked him how he knew how to sew, and he said his uncle was a tailor and taught him as a kid. And he was really engaging and happy to get his hands on the machine and teach his friends. And that was an unexpected thing. It was nice to see.
Yes, because tailors, the greatest tailors are men.
Hi, Valentine. Sorry, just let me give us another thing as an idea, because most of the men or boys, they maybe they will be more interested with the material science. So you could try to approach with something about the supply chains of the textile. As I want to be some big sport, see something quite broad, and I think even make something, you know, try to attract some people about a big pictures about how is the recycling technology in textile could be, how could be one of the maybe material science or something, I think related even for the chemistry, or some people in this, you could invite some of expert or some of the lecturer from the university or who doing some very interesting or funny or like fungi with them, you know, try to fungi or something with the textile or something biology side of the part of it, and try to engage is quite to another different approach, not only by hobbyists and how it's quite real value for them. They think of maybe it's just quite, you know, quite cool when they try to talk to again with their friends. Is this something in mind?
Yeah, you're right. But what I want to change is that the men are seeing this as a hobby. You know, it's not only get men in the process, but just like proving that it's not a hobby thing, that it's a serious thing, that we are experts in it, and that when we have men, like we maybe get to sewing classes, and they're like, oh, it's super difficult. Like, yeah. And so it's just like proving that what we are doing is like an expert thing, and it's not a hobby thing, and it's like really professional and really. So that's the way I wanted to tell it, you know.
Yeah, so let me remember with one of the tour I visit in the one of the maker space in the Singapore. We are in some, you know, Singapore, and I visit, and they have a several workshops. It also male can sewing, but that's material, you know, you could sewing from the clothes for the one of robot or robotic as support or to some possibilities to help for the, you know, children or people to feel as this quite like their skin, or some sewing, just using the sewing machine, but some in good purpose or something, you know, robotic or technology, high tech, something like this. And I remember that I forgot about that maker space that's called in the Singapore. It quite they attracting a lot of interesting, and from you know, the mascot in advertisement or some similar research or something related to that.
Great, thank you for sharing with us. I think also the culture is very important. We are all coming from different places of the world, and the culture is affecting a lot gender issues and how gender is perceived in different countries. Would anyone else like to contribute with something? Marion, would you like to wrap up?
Yes, yes.
Maybe.
Yeah, I was reading a bit different comments, and I think there is a nice diversity. Sometimes we are more confident with writing, and I was looking at specifically on the glossary to see what came out, to see if we can have some cool new tendency to work on. And it's true that it's a lot about what you say about the culture, Anastasia. I think it's appearing in the response that we have here, because it's true that we also note that in some language there is, for instance, in English that the you, there is no, the he, she is really escape from that, and it's really nice. And in the conjugation and the way you, in the grammar, you really don't have this distinction that in some other language there is really this. So maybe all this work also that has been done for gender neutrality in a way to in the lab could help in a way, but of course it's a way to speak. And what we also look for is really a way when we are making, how maybe the gesture that we are moving, that we are doing, are maybe more or less friendly and evident for some category of people from over now. And all what I think can bring from all this project is that it's more a question of learning than a question of gender. And it's quite nice to at least to zoom in the practice to see the tendency. And for instance, when in Fab Lab Barcelona, we had a lot of discussion about that, because even if there is a lot of people open to have this mix in both the labs and the more the administrative part, there is really this difference that are existing. We really saw this kind of group of men and working really more easily with the tools, and there is still a woman struggling with confidence, I think, to access it. And even if the global context is really open to that, so it's really something, yes, of culture, of not only the country but also the environment. And it's really nice, I think, to this project to open the different dimension. We can see also with the collaboration with the schools and the university that there is really different a character and a way to and way to really to approach techniques, science, innovation. And also some other it's true that the last discussion we had, I think in one of the last discussion we had was about entrepreneurship and how we can foster innovation by women, and how we can also get to this kind of position where we are confident, when we are engaged, when we are at some position that with more responsibility. And also we assume that it's really something that it's really nice to explore in the project. And we see that there is no one good response. There is many layer of complexity here. So yeah, I think if there is no more comments, really we can maybe zoom a bit in just the Shemakes bubble, and to remind you a bit the next step. It's nice that we have some labs. It's nice with Brazil, Saigon, Belgium, and Lyon. We hope that we can discuss more on the next week and month, and to see if there is some activity that we can do in common. And in terms of suggestion of activity, I see some nice suggestions. I think also maybe also because in a way I'm working on that a bit now, but I think this kind of project like the Rewool project that we have between the labs, and I don't know if you know about the Biochrome project that were happening in the over years. I think it's really a nice way also to explore, for instance, here the wool. What is the wool in your culture, and how the way it was or it is used and developed can really, how to say that, also this gender dimension in the fabrication of wool, or in the disparition sometime of the wooling life cycle. What come with that in your community, and in terms of opportunity? Yes, see if it's nice here if we can experiment together on distributed events to see how it is how we can, well, as we do in the lab to lab workshop in Greece with this dyeing of wool. And I think this is just first experiment that will be replicated, and the idea of making machines together. All the Fabric Academy different disciplines are really just some good insight to start and to look to build opportunity for women, and also to analyze a bit this complexity of gender that is really present beyond this dichotomy of men and women. Yes, so I don't know if you have any other question. You have we can put again maybe on the chat, we can put the direction for contacting us. I don't have it here right now. Let me check. And I don't know if someone else on the project, Bea, Nuria, if you have some comments or complement of information, some first feedback that you want to share for finalizing the event. Here is the link.
I suggest everybody open the camera for the picture in the end.
Black now.
The camera.
Who is doing the picture? Yeah, okay. Go, Angela.
Thank you for sharing, and we will talk again. We are just opening this project, and we are very happy to work all together and collaborate.
Yes, nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Marion.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.